Reagan blames the 1960s for the drug problems. This came out of the San Francisco Chronicle, June the 10th, 1988. President Reagan said yesterday that America's problem with drug use in the workplace stems from the students in the 1960s and 70s who experimented with illegal substances and retained their destructive drug habits. Our country is still paying for the erosion of our values and the decline in self-responsibility that occurred in the 60s and 70s, Reagan said in a speech to corporate leaders trying to drive drugs from the workplace. Now, Reagan was the governor in California from 1968 to 1974. He had a continuing attack against people who protested the war, who were working for the farm workers, for the Venceremos, for various political organizations. He hated them all. He hated the musicians. And the marijuana around turned people on, the lifestyles of the people was totally offensive to Ronald Reagan and the people around him, like Edwin Meese and the group that went to Washington with him. And there was an ongoing battle continuously. And to blame the youth people and the students of the 60s and 70s for the destructive habits is horrendous. Now, there's so many books out on drugs and the United States government's involvement. One of the most recent is Acid Dreams by Martin Lee and Bruce Schlein, published in 1985, and it tells you about the CIA and LSD and the 60s rebellion. And of course, the laboratories of I.G. Farben, the same laboratories that made poison gas at Auschwitz, with their Sandoz labs and with Mr. Hoffman, typical comrade of Ronald Reagan and George Bush, the real drug connections, not the 60s and the 70s.